Well, hello everyone. I haven't posted a video in about 3 weeks now. Been on a trip to see my mom in Arizona and then got crushed with work. So finally catching up just a little bit. Wanted to show you a new little water point that I made just a little bit ago. This is a Purina Wind and Rain mineral tub that obviously the cattle have used the mineral, and so it's a lightweight, nice little tub. And I bought a Megaflow float valve and installed that, and then I drove these fiberglass posts um, around the perimeter so that they can't move this lightweight tub. It should be very well stationary, and they can roughhouse in here, and they shouldn't um, cause any trouble with regards to tipping that over and letting the water run for long periods of time. So just a little idea, and the reason I did that is that thing is super lightweight, so when I get ready to move cattle, I can just dump that over. It's easy to dump over and throw it in the Kubota, and I'm off to the next pasture or the next paddock. So I want to show you how dry it is here. We have not had any rain at all in July. In June, we had 3/10 of an inch in the early weeks of June, which kept the grass kind of going, but it didn't provide for any substantial growth. And so, and so we are super dry. We typically in June and July, we're going to have somewhere between 2 and 4 inches of rain. Last year we had right at 8 inches in the months of June and July, and the grass was absolutely excellent. But you can see it's getting a little bit sparse. Now the cattle have been in this little 5-acre paddock. This is going on the third day. I'll move them tomorrow night, and I'm letting them hit this a little harder than I typically would if we were getting rain, and only because I'm trying to ration my grass. I got a lot of cattle, and my grass is good going forward. I'll show you across the other side of this paddock here in just a second when I get there. The grass is good that I've got in front of me, but by the time I get back around here, if we've had no rain, this grass will not have grown at all. We've got tremendous temperatures right now. Today was 108 degrees. It's been 101, 102, 103 for the last 2 weeks. And the next 10-day forecast is not below 100 the entire time. And so that's pretty concerning, but we've got to deal with it and rock on. So I'm not unhappy with my grass. It's definitely turning brown. It's just, this heat's just sapping it, just taking the green right out of it. I'm feeding a little bit of molasses lick that's got the energy from molasses in it for the cattle, and then it's got a 13% protein mixture in it. And so I'm trying to supplement them just a little bit so that they don't lose too much body condition. But this is the paddock I'll be going into tomorrow, and you can see, looking at the fence line, the grass isn't too bad on the other side of the fence. And it's another little 5-acre paddock, and I'm trying to get 3 to 4 days, depending on the paddock, out of each move. Probably more like 3. I've got about 80 head in here, 50 cows and about 30 calves, and we're just trying to struggle through. My drought plan is to try to get rid of some of these big calves as soon as I can make that happen. The big bottleneck currently is that the sale barns are absolutely overwhelmed in Texas right now. I heard a rumor that there was a sale barn in West Texas this last week that had a 5-mile line of trucks, 5-mile line, had a 5-mile line of trucks and trailers that were waiting to unload. And so I'm hearing reports that some of the sale barns are going to cap off their numbers at 3,000 head on sale day because they just can't physically run any more through the ring. And so that's going to be a huge impact on ranchers trying to get rid of their stock. So we have ranchers trying to sell their stock. The market's flooded, and so they're going to be bringing a lot less than they would have normally. So they're taking that financial hit, reducing their numbers to whatever their carrying capacity is with the drought situation, or maybe liquidating totally. And then it will be very problematic when they go to buy back, in that the cattle numbers will be down. The cattle that are left will be very high priced, and it'll be hard to buy back in. Plus, nobody that I'm talking to, other than for hay, is fertilizing. And so we'll get into these situations where, even though it starts raining again, people may not be able to get back into the cattle business, at least for some period of time, or may have to build back, and it will drive the prices up in the stores. So I would expect meat prices to drop in the coming months for a while, just because the numbers that are going to be going to the packer, and then as we get through this drought, then those numbers should dwindle significantly, and then there's going to be ranchers looking for breeding stock to repopulate their herds with. So we're in a jam. I think the whole country's in a jam. Everybody knows about the supply chain issues. That's a huge deal. Fuel issues, huge deal. If a trucker can't afford to fill his truck and pass that price on to us, which they're gonna do, then that means all the prices go up for all the consumables that we use and take for granted every day. Fertilizer prices, like I said, are sky high. I fertilized my hayfield at the clinic, and I haven't figured out my cost per bale with the custom baling, but I would suspect I spent probably about $120 a roll for 1,200 pound rolls. So everything's sky high right now and quite worrisome. So to all of you that are ranching for a living, hang in there. Farmers and ranchers are typically the most resilient lot, and they'll make do and they'll figure out a way, but it's going to get tough. And so I'm going to try to work through my grass situation as diligently as I can. It won't be perfect, but it's going to be as perfect as I can make it. And I've really waited too long to start to liquidate, because there's going to be such a glut here in the next month to 6 weeks, maybe more. So I think I can get through till the fall, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. At the very least, I'm going to keep the South Pole heifers that calved this year, 10 of those, the new bull that I bought, and the 5 heifer calves that I have out of those South Poles. Everything else is potentially up for sale, depending on how the rain situation goes. So no rain in sight. So be praying for rain. Be praying for our country. We're in a bit of a jam, and we each need to do our part and try to be the people that we're supposed to be and help our neighbors. So with that, I'm going to end it. Thank you so much. I appreciate you riding along with me. and I hope you have a wonderful evening.